Today I'm going to teach you the musical alphabet. It's a little bit different than the one you're used to. That one goes to Z, this one only goes to G, so I guess this one is easier. Lucky for us. The musical alphabet goes to G and repeats at A again. Now there's two types of notes, or two types of letters in the musical alphabet. There's natural notes and there's accidentals. The natural ones are A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, and the accidentals are the sharps and the flats. And the best way to visually represent this is the piano keyboard. I'm going to hold it up, and hopefully you'll be able to read it from that end on this camera. But not to worry, I'm going to send you a photo attachment that's going to have this picture. So I actually encourage you to open that up and just place it next to the video so that you can better absorb this. You can even print it out if you need to, if your monitor's not that big. Okay, so here it is. Here you see the white keys. Those are the natural notes. And the little black ones, those are the accidentals, the sharps and the flats. It starts on C. We've got these all labeled. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and it just repeats. It's an octave. So we got C here and C here, which is one octave. Every time the alphabet repeats, it's known as an octave. There's only 12 notes total in the entire musical alphabet between all the natural notes and the accidentals. From there, when it repeats, those are octaves. And on the piano, there's several upon several octaves. Guitars usually have a few. But you'll notice that not every note, not every two notes has an accidental between it. So for example, between C and D, there's an accidental. And that's going to be known as either C sharp or D flat. It's the same thing. If somebody says play in D sharp, it's the same. I'm sorry, if someone says play in D flat, it's the same as a C sharp. If it's D sharp, it's the same as an E flat. So those are exactly the same. Now between E and F, there is none. There's no such thing as an E sharp. An E sharp is an F, but we don't say E sharp, we say F. And likewise, we don't say F flat, we say E. And between B and C, there's no accidental. There's no sharp or flat. So those are the only two pairs of notes that don't have anything in between them. And again, you'll have to look at the picture attachment that I sent you so that you can see these more clearly. Now I'm going to show you another exercise. I'm going to bring your hands back to the frets. We're going to play 4 notes per string. Probably 2 notes per click, or you could go as fast as 4 notes per click, but I'm going to recommend 2 notes per click on the metronome for right now. So you can pick any starting point on the neck, it really doesn't matter, but for the purpose of this lesson, I will place my index finger on the 6th string, 5th fret, that one. I'm going to use all my fingers. I'm going to play each note in succession, just like that, without skipping any frets. And then I'm going to go to the next string, which is going to be the 5th string, and do the same thing. It'll be the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th fret. When I run out of strings and notes, I'm going to shift my pinky up and play back down. So it's going to be the 9th fret, 8, 7, 6, and then to the next string, which is the 2nd string. 9, 8, 7, 6. And I keep going. Run out of strings and notes again, I'm going to shift downward with my index finger and go back up. So this is another one of those circular exercises, which makes it a great exercise. You can keep going over and over again. It just works out perfectly with the metronome, with the clicker there. So you could do this 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, a half hour, whatever, and then you can just rest on the note you started on. It's a beautiful exercise. There's some interesting things happening. You're shifting. You're using all of your fingers and you're playing on all the strings. It's not very musical. Chromatic melodies typically aren't very musical sounding, but they're great exercises. I'm going to play, since I'm doing 8th notes, which is 2 notes a click, I'm going to play these at 55 beats per minute. If I were going to play 4 notes per click as a beginner, I'd probably play that at maybe 25 or 30, it would be a lot slower. And 4 notes per click is 16th notes, if you remember from a previous lesson. So 55 beats a minute. eighth notes, it's going to sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... And that's it. I could keep going over and over in that circular motion, but eventually you got to end, right? So this is a great exercise to add to your journal and to improve on every day. Well, you don't have to improve on it every day, but over the course of time you'll improve. Some days you may do the same as you did the day before, but most days you'll probably up the metronome at least 1 or 2 clicks per minute. But don't go beyond 2, because then you might be absorbing it too quickly, or moving quickly to where you don't absorb it enough, and who knows, you may pick up some bad practice habits if you do that. So no more than 2 clicks per day on those increases. And that's going to be today's chromatic exercise. Next I'm going to show you a chord finally. That's a C chord. Now for the C chord, we're going to use 3 fingers here. Use your ring finger, your middle finger, and your index finger. The pinky isn't going to be used, or the thumb for that matter. Now you're going to take your ring finger and place it on the 5th string, 3rd fret. Turn this metronome off. Don't need that for this. Now, with your middle finger, you're going to place that on the 2nd fret, 4th string. Okay, so you got these 2 notes now. Go ahead and try sounding those. Make sure they both sound. You don't want one of them to dampen out the other. You're going to want to arch your fingers. New guitar players, they have a tendency to lay their fingers flat, or they're not arched enough, because it's either painful, it hurts a little bit because your fingers aren't used to it, you don't have those calluses, but you got to arch your fingers in a way that allows all the strings to sound without dampening them. Now the next string is just going to be open. Okay, so in tablature that would look like the 3rd string, 0 fret. 0 means open. So we've got this so far. Make sure they all sound. And last but not least, take your index finger and place it on the 2nd string, 1st fret. Now play those 4 middle strings on the guitar. And really grip it, focus, so that you get all those notes to sound simultaneously. When you're practicing, let the notes ring out until you can't hear them anymore. That'll help build up your finger calluses like this. Just continue to let it ring out, unless you're in like intense pain or something, because you don't want to get injured. But you eventually want to let it ring out longer and longer as your fingers get tougher, but don't overdo it and get injured. So watch out for that. And then, of course, as a chord. So this would be a really great thing to do. Just follow up with a chord and hold on to it. Let it ring out. And do that every day along with the chromatic exercise and every other exercise I've showed you to this point. And write all those exercises down in your journal. And gosh, within a month I would say you should start developing some pretty mean calluses on your fingers, and this will get better and better and more enjoyable and less painful, which is good, right? That concludes today's lesson.